What's up, everybody? We're back again. It's episode 333. That's easy to remember, of the Dad Bod Golf Pod. It's Kyle and Ben. We're back again, and we're ready to rock and roll, talk a little bit of college golf, talk about Grayson Murray, and then another Grayson is going to show up, our buddy Graysen Huff.
Yes.
Give us an update on him and some different things that are going on with bunkers and then going on with him in general. But before we do that, we got to get started. We got to give a shout out to Bet Online, the #1 sports betting website in the country. Sign up today, get a 50% welcome bonus. Give them $100. They're going to give you 50 back on free to play with. On top of it, sports betting, just any type of line that you can imagine, they're going to have it. Super easy to navigate, super easy to place a bet, super easy to deposit, super easy to withdraw. And then if there's one of those rare days where you can't find anything to bet on, sports-wise, you can check out the online casino too. It's just, Ben loves the online casino.
Give him your money.
Yeah. It's online casino. What could go wrong?
Try to stay away. Try to stay away from the drinking when you do that too. By the way.
So check them out. That sounded expensive, and they're where the game starts. All right. So we're recording this on Tuesday.
Different day.
Different day, but same awesome place. We're currently watching the National Men's Championship in golf, which our Auburn Tigers are in, and we have to gripe. We have to gripe a little bit.
Oh my goodness!
So the broadcast started there. This is the quarterfinals and the semifinals. They play all that on the same day. So the morning match play is the quarterfinals.
Yes.
And there's 4 matches going on. So it's like 8 teams total. And then they go and they play the semifinals after. Well, Auburn started the way they did it so they could all kind of finish around the same time. Was Auburn was playing
back 9 first.
Back 9 first. Who were they? Virginia. Auburn was playing Virginia on the back 9, and it was Florida State and UCLA were also playing on the back 9.
Virginia double bogeyed.
Virginia double bogeyed. Auburn wins, but that wasn't the part that was frustrating.
Oh.
So the broadcast came on at roughly 12 o'clock Central Time, and for 1 hour and 25 minutes, I counted it, 1 hour and 25 minutes, Auburn did not get one single airing shot. The first shot that Auburn had in an hour and 25 minutes of broadcast was a 5-foot putt. We never saw one tee shot.
Nope.
We only saw maybe 2 approach shots.
I didn't see an approach shot.
I saw Jack.
You were watching more than me. I had it on in the background at work.
Yeah.
And I never saw an approach shot.
I saw Jackson hit a couple of shots.
Okay.
And then, but most of it was putting and things of that nature.
Now, those of you that don't know about Auburn golf, here's my biggest complaint. They're the #1 team in the country right now.
This is not like somebody that snuck in, like a 18 seed that snuck in. This is the #1 team in the country.
The Hendricks Award was awarded to Coyven, who plays
Jackson
for Auburn.
Coyven, who's a player for Auburn.
And
essentially the Heisman for college golf.
So imagine, put in any Heisman candidate, since we're talking Auburn, as I put online earlier today, as I said, that's essentially like you watching an Auburn football game with Bo Jackson, and every time he got ready to touch the ball, they cut to the sideline to show the punter or the place kicker warming up and didn't show him running. And then they would cut back to action and show the other team on offense.
Now, granted,
so it's literally one of the highest awards you can get in golf.
Yeah. Now, granted, most of the TV time that we got, the very little bit of it that Auburn got, it was Jackson. So that was good. You got to see him.
I got to see him putt it 3 times.
He hit a couple of shots, and then he had essentially the winning putt.
Yes.
To beat Virginia. But this is my thing. Okay, I'm trying. There's a little bit of a I kind of get it, and then there's another portion where I don't get it. So clearly, starting on the front 9, there's not as much permanent cameras on the front 9. There must not be as many cameras on the front 9 as there is on the back, which I get because you want to have the most angles of, like, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18 because that's where matches are sometimes
Closing holes, all
decided.
that stuff too. Yeah.
So, in one vein, I get it, okay? But here's where I don't get it, okay? They did not announce that this tournament was going to be on this course, the Omni La Quinta Resort out in Carlsbad, California. Is that right?
Yes.
Somewhere in California.
It's in Carlsbad.
Yeah, Carlsbad, California.
Women played there last week for the collegiate women did.
They didn't draw like names out of a hat last week that this was going to be there. This is something that's been awarded to them a lot of times it's years in advance.
Oh, they've known for at least minimum year and a half.
Yeah. So you're telling me television broadcast, you can't get, and maybe some of this is on the Golf Channel, but you can't get set up to where we can watch 18 holes and have really good golf coverage?
Listen,
how does that happen?
No, I mean,
highest tournament in golf.
Even with drones, they could have done this.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you don't have to have a set. Like, they keep saying, well, we don't have camera base. Okay, we're okay with seeing a handheld run around out there and not having the best angle. But when you've got the #1 team in the nation playing, we essentially watched the 8 and 9 seeds play all day today and did not watch. Well, Auburn wasn't a 1 seed, but they are ranked 1 in the country. The other teams were ranked like outside the top 10 that we were watching all day today.
Yeah.
And
we watched Vanderbilt hit about every shot they hit all day long.
They love Sargent on there.
I watched them choke it away, and
he blew it. He missed 10+ putts inside of 5 feet over the last 48 hours.
I'm just blown away that it was that bad.
It's
Auburn people have. Here's another thing. Auburn people kind of have a little complex when it comes to like coverage or announcers. We always, for the most part, I'm not this way, but a lot of people always are assuming that
I'm totally that way.
I know. A lot of people are assuming that everybody's against Auburn. That everybody there's like a conspiracy, and I'm not really that way. But like, it was bad.
I don't take that approach.
It was bad.
But I do take the approach of something like today. Now, talking to a former collegiate golfer, they're telling me that at Grayhawk, where they held it before,
which is out in Arizona,
they have plug-ins every hole on the course. It's already pre-wired. Like, they did that so they could host more tournaments. Okay, NCAA, or ever who comes up with the idea of the host sites. I'm assuming it's NCAA.
Yeah.
Let's start playing at. We all, as golfers, would like to see these college guys play, because once they leave college, it could take them years. I noticed the other day they were talking about individual championship winners, and some of the names won 10, 12 years ago that are just now making it on tour. So we like to see them now, because we may not see them again, because y'all are not going to advertise or not going to show the Canadian Tour. You barely show any Korn Ferry Tour events. So while there's an opportunity, this is for a national championship. This would be like basically in football or basketball, they've just decided to pick select teams in the tournament or in the playoffs to show, and then you don't get to see the other teams.
So let me ask you this.
You just get to see the results.
Is this who's this on? I think a lot of this has got to be on the Golf Channel.
I think it's on Golf Channel, and the course. I think the course too, not providing maybe. I know when they came to Opelika, PGA required that they have X amount of cable run / stuff dugout / power and all that. I know the NCAA doesn't have the money the PGA Tour has to be able to do that. So I put some of it on the course too. So I'm going to go Golf Channel and the course. This is the one time I'm not blaming the NCAA.
To me, it feels like this is what it feels like. To me, it feels like the Golf Channel rolled up on Saturday, scoped it out, and then just threw it all together.
Well, here's the frustrating part.
On Saturday.
Is by the time you guys watch this, they'll be probably done with the national championship round between the two teams. You won't be able to see but the final 9 holes.
Yeah.
Like, they won't take coverage till the final 9. They may show 9 through 18. And
what's on now?
And if it's a blowout, you may not see but 9 through 15.
That's true.
So, because it is match play.
It did not come on until I think Auburn teed off at 4 Central and left at 4 Central, and the coverage started at 5. So you missed a good portion of that as well. I mean, it could have just gone. They could have just had this all day long. Like, take a little break. They could have just picked it up and had it all day long. Even the morning, you missed a lot of the front. But
And a guy I work with, he works sports information for the women's team. They are there. He said that's what confused him. Even during the women's tournament, the broadcasters, the camera crews, the entire crew, the production staff, the production trucks, they're there beginning that morning at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
But yet they still don't broadcast until the afternoon. That's just odd to me.
yeah,
That
I'm with you.
They're there all day, and it's like, hey, what can we be doing? Oh, we could be showing golf. That's probably a good idea. I mean, that's kind of what everybody's tuned in for.
Exactly.
But they've decided not to do that. So, yeah, it's frustrating. And
It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. There's nothing on TV. There's no golf.
Right.
Just play the college tournament all day long.
And listen, I know this is hard.
I know Billy Ray needs a break, or whoever it is.
Well,
that they
that's
keep.
the thing is, I know that this is hard for the Golf Channel to believe. We're okay with there being no audio. You can just have cameras. You just stream. I'm okay with no audio.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the time at work, I got it muted anyway. It's not like I'm listening. So if you just want to have still cameras where you don't even have the camera guy working,
Oh my God, he chipped in. Sorry.
it's just a still camera.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
That's Auburn that just chipped
Exactly.
in as well.
It was a big
no
play.
No wonder Kyle was freaking out.
But yeah, that's. I mean, at bunkers, you just everywhere you turn your head, you got a TV to catch the action.
Yeah, they go
so-
overboard too because I said, "Hey, we get this on Golf Channel. Auburn's playing tonight." She goes, "Yeah." Well, now every TV around us is on
Every
Golf
TV
Channel.
in the whole area.
So they went the extra mile to make sure we didn't miss anything.
Yep. So, did you had the Colonial this weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Was it Davis? Who was the winner? Who won that one? He
Riley.
Riley. Yeah, he played at Davis Riley played at Alabama, wins, but I think a lot of the headlines, unfortunately, were Saturday morning. I think I don't know who put the statement out. I don't know if it's the PGA Tour or someone put a statement out that
The PGA Tour did before his parents did.
yeah, Grayson Murray, who we've talked about on this podcast before, had passed away. I think they found him that morning at maybe his hotel or something like that. And he actually was playing in the tournament. He's won this year. He won the Sony Open. He won the Sony. He actually withdrew. He withdrew on Friday. I think he just like completely withdrew, and I think some people said, hey, I think Paul Malnati was one that said, hey, y'all need to check on Grayson, and I think his parents have come out and said he took his own life.
They did.
And he's struggled for quite a while, and it just kind of overshadowed. They did a moment of silence on like the Korn Ferry Tour, on the PGA Tour. Everybody was just really shocked because I think he had kind of turned. He had struggled with some alcoholism and things of that nature, but I think he had kind of turned that around at the beginning of the year and started to sort of
Alcoholism, substance abuse.
Yeah.
He admitted that's nothing that he hasn't said publicly.
correct.
As well as depression and anxiety.
Yeah.
Which is why he was using those particular items to cope.
Correct.
Is what he said.
Right. Well, so he passes away, and then a lot of the I guess a lot of the talk has really been around, I guess, is there any responsibility on the PGA? Is anything on the PGA Tour's hands here? Like, is there anything they could have done to help prevent it? I don't know. I mean,
I'm not accusing them of anything.
yeah.
But Kyle and I talked about this, and it's an apples and oranges comparison, but I said you don't want it to get to the NFL version of what have they done to help people with CTE. I don't think it's the same thing, but it is something where after his death, some other guys have said there are more guys out here dealing with that sort of thing. I mean, it's a lonely sport. I mean, they go city to city, away from their
Matthew
families.
Wolf was somebody that comes to mind.
Yes,
that,
he's one that is
that
dealing
has
with
had
depression
some
issues.
stuff like this.
And so I told Kyle, I said, I'm not blaming the PGA Tour, and I'm in no way accusing them of not doing their part because I don't know what took place behind the scenes.
Right.
But Grayson has been very upfront with his problems. And did somebody reach out and said, is there anything we can do to get you help? Now, I don't know if he had his own guy or girl that he dealt with, and maybe he said, no, I've got it, it's taken care of, I have a family physician or whatever. But I guess that's the thing that needs to, I think the PGA Tour needs to be do a better job of being a little more transparent that they are doing stuff to help their players. And I don't want to make this a financial thing, but this is what some of the live players were complaining about, you know, new guys on tour that were having to throw away money to get to places because they qualified and the PGA Tour didn't offer any sort of assistance and I know that was more financial and travel, and that's not the same thing.
But it does, I'm sure it plays a role into it.
But yeah, if you listen, Kyle, you go out tomorrow and you qualify to play in next week's tournament because you win a local qualifier.
You got to pony up.
Guess who pays? And if you don't have the money in your account, I mean, you're going in debt, and then you get there and you don't make the cut. Well, you don't get a check for that either.
Or think about this: you have investors.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that back these guys, and then you got those guys that are pumping you with with funds to be able to do it, and you're you may be struggling or not being able to help them recoup their investment. I mean, there's a huge mental, and in golf's a mental sport in general.
Yeah, Boo Wigley talked about that. Remember where he said, he went and he said, y'all give me this amount of money. If I don't make it, I'll come back home and I'll pay every one of you back, but I'm done with golf.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure, man.
Yeah. So on one hand, I get it. But on the other hand, I just, in a situation like this, it's so sensitive. Like, is it really the PGA Tour's responsibility? I mean,
and that I don't know.
And that may be that may not sound that may sound insensitive.
I don't know how the Players Association is similar to other major sports, But getting back to the NFL thing, so it hasn't happened. But what if an NFL player received a couple of concussions and he went home in his room the night after a football game and he took his own life?
Right. Well, see, the difference in that is something that is a direct like response or a direct action after something that happened while you're playing, like an injury while you're playing the game. Whereas golf, it's not really like I'm going to get a concussion and it's going to mess my brain up. It's just
no, but it's not a physical injury. But it's pressure and it's a mental injury.
Yeah, but man, where do you draw the line there? Like,
okay, well then, all right, well then take CT out of it. What if it's a guy?
I'm talking about in golf.
What if it's a guy that's been pushing for playing time in the NFL and he doesn't get the roster call on Sunday and he goes in there and takes his life?
Was that
out of depression?
That's what I'm saying, though. Is that the NFL's responsibility?
I know. That's why.
Like, at what point? Like, where do you draw that line?
Again, I'm not blaming the PGA Tour. I'm just saying.
I just don't know where you draw the line. Like,
I'm just saying when a guy reaches out and he is as open as Grayson has been about it. And listen, we've ripped him.
We were ugly at times.
I was ugly when he threw his putter and talked about what a baby he was and pitching a fit because he was in the middle of a round and just really showed his rear end and threw it. Well, kind of like Kyle threw his wedge one day. Just threw it in the woods like a good 60 yards away.
There was also, I remember we talked about it on our show, I think we really went after him whenever I think maybe he said some really negative things about Kevin Na when he went to Live Tour, and we talked about.
I think my line was, I think I even tweeted this. I think I said something like, "Why don't you try making a cut?" And then you.
I think he responded to you. I swear.
I looked back when you said that, and I couldn't find anything.
I swear there was some sort of Twitter interaction, but like, had we known, and I guess you need to be cognizant of this with everybody, but obviously had we known that would not have been something that we chose to do.
Yeah, but this is something not PGA Tour related, but Live Tour related. This is what we talked about with AK. Like, get off Twitter.
Yeah.
With his mental issues that he's had.
It's true.
That ain't the place for him to be.
It's not. It's not. And Grayson was very active for a while. He may have gotten off of it when he's trying to get himself get himself better. But
listen, we are I'm not going to say social media savvy, but we spend a lot of time on social media, Twitter, Instagram, that kind of thing, Dad Bod, Golf Pod, as well as our own personal. There's a rule that you say is don't read the comments, but it's easy to do.
Yeah.
And
if you're doing that and you got all the other stuff going on in your head, it's just a breeding ground for negativity, and it's just I don't know.
You see it with coaches that respond. You see it with players that respond. And at some point, and here's what gets me about some of the ones that respond. They're responding to guys that have like 20 followers. So it's like it's probably a bot anyway. It's not even, and it's like just don't bring that negativity into your life. So, hey, again, we were rough on him, and so I guess we fall in the same boat as not knowing exactly what he was going through. Like we're saying the PGA Tour probably didn't know, but it's
or they did. Even if they did know, I'm not 100% sure what their responsibility is in the thing, because it's not really they're independent contractors. They're not really beholden to a club or a team or an organization. It's just like a loosely affiliated bunch of dudes.
And look, it may not be the tour, maybe the Player Association.
Yeah.
That may be who's needing to reach out and protect him. I don't know.
Right.
And all of that may have been done. That hasn't been talked about. I think it's too fresh on everybody's mind. Everybody's wanting to give their family some peace and some separation because the family asked for a little privacy at the time. So I get it. But I would like to see the PGA Tour and the Players Association kind of come forward and say, look, if you see something, say something. And yes, we do hear the cries when people are asking for help. And these are what we put into place.
Yeah, these are the resources that we have for guys like that. That's a reality of today. That's the reality of society right now. Is just from the results of COVID, from social media, all this stuff. Like, this stuff is on an uptick.
It's their livelihood, man.
Yeah, and it's their livelihood. That just mental health has to always be on the radar. I'm not saying you got to go say, hey, you're struggling, you're required to do X amount of this, X amount of that,
right.
But at least have the resources there for somebody to take advantage of if they need it. Maybe they already do that, but sad story. 30 years old, something like that.
Yeah.
Still in his prime of golf, and again, he already won this year. It's not like he hadn't won in forever. He had just won in January. So sad, but we'll obviously be thinking about him and be thinking about our words, obviously, moving forward as well when talking about different dudes on the tour. Not that he saw our show, and it probably never did, but just, I don't know. I don't want to be that guy. I want to have fun, whatnot, but I'm not sure. I don't want to be that guy. I want to lift people up. But anyway, we got
shoes off in the tournament.
We got shoes off. We're going in the water. So you definitely, if you're listening to this, you've already probably seen this. But anyway, we're going to come back in just a minute. But when we come back, we're going to be talking with our buddy that we mentioned earlier, Graysen Huff, who is stopping by off this massive road trip, playing all kinds of golf. He was telling us all about golf and talking a little bit about college golf and things like that as well. So, and what's on his roadmap the next several months. So check us. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with Graysen Huff. What's up? We're back, and look who decided to stop by. Our buddy, our friend, our pal, our favorite professional golfer, Graysen Huff, has joined us here at Bunkers. He's on his way, doing all kind of crazy road trips. Drove 8 hours today just to come hang out.
Just to see y'all.
Just to see us. Graysen, how you been, bud?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We're good. Obviously, it's our favorite day of the week. We're coming up here to Bunkers to get wine and dine and then talk a lot of golf. But I want to hear what's going on with you. Like, I want to hear what's on the schedule. I know you had some big news recently. Share it. Tell everybody where we're at right now.
Yeah, so I'm just super excited to be back, here in Auburn for a short bit. That's because I just played in Q school, and we got our status back on Canada, so we're going back up to Canada for 10 weeks. It's gonna be a lot of work, a lot of effort, but it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I get to go out and kind of bring the dad bod culture out there to the PGA Tour Canada.
There we go.
Or
so
America's Tour now.
That's called this. It used to be the McKenzie. Is that right? And now it's the America's Tour.
Used to be the McKenzie. I still call it the Canada, which is not right, but it used to be
the
PGA
Canada.
Tour Canada, and then now it's called PGA Tour Americas because it's combined Latin and Canadian swings together. I qualified for the Canadian swing, so we have 10 events coming up.
Nice.
Starting, I think it's like June 17th. It's kind of like middle of June is our first
so it's
week.
quick.
Yeah, it's real quick.
Yeah. Is it 10 consecutive weeks, or do they kind of break it up?
We're going to go 2 weeks on, week off, 4 weeks on, a week off, and then 4 weeks on to the finals.
Wow.
Yep. So we
Wow.
got 10 events, 12 weeks.
And this would be, okay, so you said there's a Latin swing and then there's a Canadian swing.
Right.
Is it like two separate tours? Like, how do the points and all that work for going to get into the next level?
Yep. So you're gonna log on to the PGA Tour website. You're gonna go to that America stuff, and you're gonna look at it, and you'll see me on there, but you'll see I have 0 points right now. They've combined the point season this year, so I'm gonna be starting a little bit behind the 8 ball. There's
Okay.
6 events already that have gone through, and the top 10 will get Korn Ferry status on the points list.
Gotcha.
So that's the number we're going for. That's what we need.
Gotcha.
There's some other little caveats in there that we can, a little bit after that, some spots and some status and whatnot. But but that's the one we need to move up and go through. I also believe that just the 10 events, the points that I make in there, if I am the top 3 points earners in those events from just those,
Yeah.
I also will get some elevated Korn Ferry status as well. So
Nice.
there's a couple ways to do it, but those are the 2 main ones.
Are there guys that are going to play both? Are there many guys that are going to be playing both swings?
Yes, so there's 60 guys that are on the money list. The top 60 right now are
Okay.
eligible for the Canadian swing. So they will be playing up, and you'll see Latin American guys, Argentinians, all the guys that I played against in Latin America, they're coming up to Canada and playing. So it won't just be Canadians and a lot of Americans. It'll be a full international field now.
Nice. So, yeah, you do. I mean, you're kind of behind the 8 ball, so you have to get in there and get after it. But it's cool. So there'll be like you said, there'll be some ways that you can get the ways that you can get to the next level just by your results in those 10 events, and you're not necessarily having to go down 2 touchdowns,
Right.
and having to come all
Right.
the way back. Even though you are, and you can come back, there's opportunities in those 10 events.
Correct. And even though let's say I'm down a touchdown right now.
Yeah.
Just like with any football game that happens, Auburn, we know it really well. It happens in 1 second. So it's
Yeah.
we go out
I
there.
see what you did there.
We go to the first event, and and we go play well, make a cut. We'll be right there,
Right in the mix.
Right in the mix. So,
Gotcha.
And I get 10 events where the Latin swing only had 6. So there's 4 more
Okay.
events for us.
That's
so,
big.
So we got some.
That one
some
seems
room.
like it'd be the preferred one.
Yes.
What's the weather like in Canada right now? Like,
So we're getting into summertime, so it'll be nice. It'll be 75. It'll be great pants weather, maybe a light jacket.
joggers.
Joggers,
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
We're full on the Primo joggers, so no shame in the shout out.
No.
And but there'll be some north events that'll get pretty cold. They had some rain outs last year, so it's gonna be. We'll get some inclement weather, but the first event is in Victoria, BC. It's beautiful. I've played there before. I've had a top 20 finish, so I mean
Good vibes.
Hopefully we get the ball rolling real quick.
Absolutely. All right, so we've been talking about college golf. We talked about it a little bit earlier. You were there's no like hiding it that we're from Auburn, so we're
Right.
obviously pulling for Auburn University. You were a part of the team. Correct me if I'm wrong. The furthest we've ever been up until this past year. Is that correct?
Until right now.
Yeah.
So
until right now. So, what's it like when you get into that? Like this team's the number 1 team in the country.
Right.
Been playing good all year. You get qualified, and then you go to match play. Like, how different is that? Is it different at all, or like what's the, just walk us through like when you go from stroke play to match play?
yeah, I mean it's a different mindset for sure, because you just got to beat the guy in front of you. Normally you're just trying to beat the course,
Right.
And post the best score you can, and a double will win you a hole sometimes. But no, I mean you just got to go out and you get to match play, you survive, you advance, you take advantage of those opportunities that you got, and these guys are good. I've been playing with them. Koivin's a great player. He just won the Hashkins Award. He just won.
Yeah.
He won like almost every award this year.
Every single award you can
yeah.
win. He
basically
won it.
You know, he's a stud, and the whole team is just a bunch of horses. So we've won the quarterfinals today, and we're playing the semifinals right now, I believe, and I'm hoping that we play well and keep it going. But, you know, match play sucks because sometimes the best team doesn't always win.
Yeah. You can shoot 68 and lose, or you can shoot 75 and win.
Yep.
It's kind of crazy.
But that's the beauty of the game, too. It's like hitting your ball down the middle of the fairway and going in a divot.
We don't want to talk about that. Pull it out. Do not hit it out of a divot. No. Are there any so some of the rule changes and stuff, like I guess down the road, or any of those, how far out, like ball rollback type stuff, or if there's any big rule changes that have come out recently that?
Not really that I'm totally aware of. I know they pushed the ball rollback back you know, a few years or whatnot. And
have you practiced with it at all?
Not really, because there's no need to
right now.
Yeah. And a lot of guys that I've heard that have tried, it's just they're like, you just hit it 15 yards shorter. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Which is more of just changing the number.
Right.
You know, but hey, technology's so good, they'll roll back the ball and somebody will figure out how to hit it farther anyway. So.
Oh yeah. Bryson's already labbing on that.
Yeah. Well, he's got those $10,000 printed 3D printed irons.
Oh yeah.
Or whatever. So. But yeah, no, it's everything. I think is you know, the world of golf is pretty good right now.
Yeah, I agree. Need to get this merger thing figured out, and then I think it get even better, because to me the PGA Championship this past couple of weeks ago, we talked about it, was probably one of the most entertaining majors we've had in last one. I mean, it's the most entertaining one I can remember in the at least recent memory. So getting all those guys back together to play in is crucial. All right, so Grayson, you're actually going to be partnering a little bit with Bunkers.
Yes.
On and off this summer, correct? Like while you're here, tell them kind of. I know there's not any like finite details yet, but like some of the things that we're talking about possibly doing, you can participate with Grayson.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so we haven't quite settled on all the details yet, but you know, the people and the staff here at Bunkers are great, and looking to do some stuff with them, maybe do some sip and chips, you know, some little clinics and things like that.
Sip and chip. Tell us what that is. That sounds.
You know, you just come out with some friends. We get you a couple drinks, and we teach you how to chip a little bit, maybe perfect your game just slightly.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know, maybe it's the alcohol, maybe it's the lessons, I don't know, but
it's different than like drunken chunk.
Yeah, no, it's not drunken chunk. No, we don't want that. We definitely don't want a drunken chunk.
I just made that up just now.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, we're talking about how we're going to come up with some names. We're just going to use Chat GPT. I didn't need it.
No, I don't think so. I like the drunken chunk.
Yeah,
that might be a good tournament name.
Exactly.
That might be the first annual drunken chunk sponsored by Dad Bod Pod.
There you go.
There it is.
There you go. And then other type clinics, things like that.
Yeah, possibly doing some junior stuff. Just
right here.
Kind of right here in Bunkers. It's simple inside. Just make it easy for everybody, and trying to get some people maybe that wouldn't come see the game or practice or you know, play that much. Maybe get them an opportunity to get a little better.
Love it. Love it. We obviously love this place. We got the SEC Championship on in the background. We got
National Championship.
The National Championship. It's the SEC teams in the National Championship. There's only one left. So, but yeah, so we're here and we're enjoying it. Grayson, thanks for stopping by, and we'll catch y'all back in just a minute. All right, we're back. It's Kyle and Ben. You just heard me talk with our buddy Graysen Huff. That was a cool interview. Kind of give you the insight of guys that play that grind all over the tour, that grind in Canada, grind in Latin America, grind all over the place. So I thought I love his insight.
You know what I like about him?
What's that?
He always invites us to play golf, and we're terrible.
I know.
Compared to him.
Yeah, I mean, I
don't know. I
have figured stuff out.
He's on the verge. If he works a little harder and he applies himself a little better, maybe quits his job.
If I just had the time to practice.
That is an inside joke.
Yeah.
Although those of you watching, y'all all have
that guy.
Y'all
know that guy.
Y'all have that guy in your friend group that shoots 75 and gives you the line going up on 18 as he is putting for birdie from 25 feet to close the round. And he goes, you know, if I had the time,
Hey, let me tell you
And
something.
I applied myself.
Let me tell you a new guy that I've discovered, and I did not know that this guy existed, and I didn't even realize that this is desirable. But so you know what a sandbagger is, right?
Oh boy, I thought you were about to ask a hand. I
No,
didn't
no,
know
no,
where
no.
you were headed with that.
You know what a sandbagger is, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What's a sandbagger, Ben, to you?
A sandbagger to me is one that kind of lies about his game. He's better than what he says he is. I've played some of these guys in a scramble because they turned in handicaps of 12s. They got thrown in our flight, and among the two of them on the front nine, because it was where you just play 3 rounds of 9 against different guys.
Yeah.
And the front 9 that we played against them, they shot 8 under.
So
And I was like, "There's no way y'all are 12s."
So that sandbagger essentially, hey, I'm better than the scores that I may input.
Right.
I'm manipulating the handicap system. So
Scrambles are notorious for them.
I have found that there's another guy. There's another guy out there.
Oh.
And I haven't come up with a name for him yet, but I'm going to call it a reverse sandbagger.
Okay.
And that is someone who will put in scores lower than
That's just so stupid.
lower than what they actually shot. And you'll be playing with them, and they say, "Oh man, I shot this on the front." And you're like, "Wait a minute,
No.
there ain't no way you shot that
So,
on the front."
I
And then
got-
you look at their score, and you're like, "Wait a minute, wait just a minute."
So do you have a buddy that
I played. I'm not going to say no.
I'm not gonna say his name. I'm gonna tell you about 2 of mine.
I'm not going to say if I played with him. I'm just going to say that I know a guy. I know somebody like that.
They no longer live here, so I'm not gonna call their name though, because they may watch or listen wherever you get your pods. However, we got put in tournaments, and they I email out to the group, and I'm like, "Hey, they got the tournament this weekend. What's your handicap?" He says 4. I played with this guy probably 25 times in my life. I've never seen him shoot below at 85.
Yeah.
And I said, "I'm not turning in a 4." He goes, "Well, that's my registered." I said, "I'm not. That you're going to throw us in a different flight
Yeah.
because you think you're better than you are. You're not a 4." And he played that card the entire way. And then when we would go play in different tournaments, like you talked about going to South Alabama, playing Andalusia tournaments, stuff like that. Well, we went to like North Alabama and played some tournaments. And I'm like, "See, now you got to show your registered handicap, and you have completely screwed us because you're a 4 and you're not a 4."
I got all the way down a couple of years ago to 2 or 3.
No,
and
when we first
2 or
started
3
playing, you were probably a 3.
2 or 3 index, and
And you were a legit 3, though.
yeah, I mean, I keep my handicap very religious. Like, I go by the rules. I'm not going to, if I make a really high score on a hole, I'm only going to input what I'm supposed to for that handicap. Like, you can't just throw in 10s and 9s on holes and things like that. So I try to go by it as close as I can. I was down to I want my handicap to go down. I got it down to about a 3, and then something happened. I lost, whatever. I just went through this big slump, and it went all the way back up to an 8 because I put my scores in correctly, and then I said I figured something out, and I started putting in my last 3 scores have been pretty good. 3 rounds in the 70s in a row. That's pretty good, and my handicap started to come down a couple of shots. But I've never gone out and played and shot 80, and I'll put in 77. That makes no sense.
That's dumb. And this guy was doing that. He had to. That's the only
Yeah.
way he got to a 4. He had to be turning in. And here's another thing. He's shooting mid-80s, Kyle, and he's taking gimmies from 10 feet, picking up on holes.
Yeah.
And it's like, I tell everybody,
Bogey.
yeah. What'd you have there? Put me down for bogey.
Yeah. That's a par putt.
Yeah, but you had 3 in the water. Like, what goes with that? Well, that's, it's other 2.
Local drop.
Other 2, it's a local drop. The other 2 that I hit in there, I just was actually trying to work something out. I was trying to figure something out.
Yeah.
And so, I got to. And so, yeah, don't be that guy either. I do find that absolutely hilarious because it hurts your teammates when you get paired and you have to go to tournaments and stuff. So don't be that guy. It's now. As I said, I don't like either one because the ones you're playing with, they sell you short. You get thrown a different flight. you know, I had a gentleman that I played with. It was an older gentleman, and he always said that he was a 15. And I don't know that the man ever shot less than 100 the entire time we were playing. And so when we play in these tournaments, he goes, I mean, why are we in this flight? I'm like, you're why we're in this flight.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So
You
just
know,
be honest both ways. If it's bad, great. If it's good, it's great too.
I couldn't be too mad at him because, I mean, he was the one paying for all of it, but he would get so frustrated that we were in that flight. So don't just keep your handicap, man. And keep in mind on your handicap too, like a true handicap, Kyle and I have talked about it, you need to put everything out anyway on a true handicap, in my opinion. Also, the whole mulligan thing, like those of you taking 3 off of 1 and then another 2 off of 10.
Here's my slight argument in response to that, okay? Not everybody plays tournament golf, okay?
I get that.
So if you're playing by the same rules typically all the time and it's the same guys you're playing with, if you count a breakfast ball or you count given putts at like 2 or 3 feet, like everybody's doing that.
No,
You know
I'm
what I mean?
totally okay
So-
with that. If you're playing by the same rules like you and I play by the same rules every time.
Yeah.
Roll it in the fairway. You know, we do gimmies. Like, now the other guy has to give it to you. You can't just say, hey, I'm taking this one. The other guy's got to give it to you. So, yeah, I'm totally okay with that. But, you know, I told you when we played in that little mini tournament at AU Club that one time, and they said, you know, or maybe it was a big group or something, but we had to put everything out. Like, you had to hold everything out. I said, oh, this is going to separate the men from the boys here.
Yeah.
I was like, because some of these guys that we've played with before, I've seen
Not used
picking
to
up
that.
7-footers and 5-footers.
But then everybody, but when you do that, everybody scores higher.
Right. I
So
agree.
it's not like I don't necessarily have a problem with that when you're doing your handicap, because
No, but you know as well as I do, I don't mind putting. I love my chances from 5 feet in.
yeah,
So I love when guys,
everybody else has to do that.
I love when everybody's like, "Hey, we're putting them out today." That's a great call. I like that.
Let's do
You
it.
know what? Pressing. Number 1.
Yeah.
Press.
I don't think you can do that, but you got to be down first. But still. All right, talk about bunkers. So cool thing they're about to start doing. We're gonna post it. You'll see it on social. They're gonna have a burger of the week. Okay, it's not gonna be on the menu. They're gonna basically be coming up with burgers week by week. Okay, and this is the first week we're doing it. And Ben, the burger we had tonight was, I don't know that it could be. We talk about this all the time, but I don't know that it could be topped. It's a smash burger, double patty smash burger with smoked Gouda cheese,
Yes.
beer battered fried mushrooms, and then
Fantastic.
they have come up with their own type of quote unquote comeback sauce, your burger
Or
sauce,
Kim Kardashian sauce.
your fry sauce, whatever you want to call it. They've come up with their own sauce, and it rocked my world. I wanted to eat your half too.
I'm glad you didn't, because I got a hold of it. It was delicious. We had that and the meatball sub, which is not a burger, but
it's phenomenal.
and they have told me that they're about to implement some pastas, so they can have some pasta nights up here. And so it got paired with a beer as well that Kyle has partaken in and looked like he enjoyed.
Yeah. What's it called? Common.
I don't know.
Let me go grab the.
Yeah, go do
Keep
that.
talking.
So they always pair it with something, either a wine or a beer that we come up here with. This is one. It's in the state of Alabama.
Common Bond Brewery.
Yeah.
Brewery out of Montgomery, the Zelda Blonde Ale, and it was.
Did you play Zelda in Nintendo growing up?
I didn't. I was a Mario guy. I think Zelda was a smidge before me.
Well, I tell Lori all the time she played it. I didn't. I tell her it was a nerd game.
Really?
Yeah.
I never played Zelda. I was a Mario guy.
I was a Tecmo Bowl, the Major League Baseball guy.
Major League Baseball was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We got way sidetracked.
Yeah, I know.
But anyway,
Zelda Blonde. That's why I was curious.
Common
about the Zelda.
Ground Brewery out of Montgomery. So
Common Bond.
Common Bond, yes.
Yeah.
They carry that here. It's
That's
good.
pretty cool. They're saying share a common bond.
Yeah.
Have
it's
a
good
beer with
stuff.
one another.
It's good stuff. Goes really good with burgers. But every week, so you'll have to be watching our Instagram because we're going to post the burger of the week every single week. And I haven't had a bad one yet.
You'll have to, well, It's the burger of the week. As he said, it's not going to be on the menu. However,
They're going to have it written out like a special board.
anytime you guys hear us talking about something that they've offered us, because they usually go off menu with us.
We're experimentals.
Like,
I feel like they
when you
experiment
come
with
up
us.
here, ask can you have it. Everything back there is cooked to order anyway. That's like when we had the charcuterie board. That's not on the menu. You can ask for that from your server.
Right.
If they are able to provide it that night, they will. And then you're going to be the talk of the bar area or wherever you're sitting down here in one of the bays, because people are going to be like, well, where did you get that? And it's be like, I had to order it special. So same thing with this, with double smash burger with beer battered mushrooms, comeback sauce. We got fries with it, and then with the meatball sub, he decided to give us some tots. I'm a big tot fan up here because they do them perfect, because I like my tots crunchy.
Oh, they're very crisp. They're almost crispy all the way through,
Yes.
which is phenomenal.
And so I'm a big fan of the tots. Grayson, however, he said he likes the fries better. He also is going to be playing in Canada, so
yeah,
the
they're
exchange
big.
rate.
They got some fry stuff
doesn't
in
know.
Canada. They got some cool fry stuff.
he's going to be eating poutine and
yeah,
is that how you say
poutine.
it? Poutine. Sorry,
Poutine.
I mess that up
something
every.
else.
I know.
Yeah. So anyway, we love this place. We know you'd love it too. Book a party. Bring some friends. We got ankles in the water again. We got another water shot.
Yes.
This is just absolute electricity right now on the national championship. He actually got that one out.
Yeah, the last guy that came back to him, he had to re-hit it.
Yeah. But coming here, TVs everywhere. Awesome restaurant. Obviously, you got the simulators.
Oh,
we
shanked it.
We played a little bit of Colonial from the last tournament. We played a couple of holes of that.
I kicked Kyle's rear end.
He did. I quit.
I shot one under.
I wasn't having fun, so I quit.
We only played 3
I took my
holes.
ball and went home. But
He
anyway,
did.
we'll get back with you
When
soon.
are we going to address that issue that you have up here?
Never. We're not going to talk about it up here. I don't like talking about it. So we will catch you next week. So this is episode 333 of the Dad Bod Golf Pod, and we're always stroking.